Hello and welcome to Daily Reflection with Aneel Aranha. Today is the 14th of April 2018 and we're going to reflect on John chapter 6, 16 to 21. Listen. When evening came, his disciples went down to the sea, got into a boat and started across the sea to Capernaum. It was now dark and Jesus had not yet come to them. The sea became rough because a strong wind was blowing. When they had rowed about 3 or 4 miles, they saw Jesus walking on the sea and coming near the boat, and they were terrified. But he said to them, "It is I, do not be afraid." Then they wanted to take him into the boat, and immediately the boat reached the land toward which they were going, the gospel of the Lord. There are said to be 365 verses in Scripture where we are instructed by God not to fear, supposedly one verse for each day of the year. And the reason is because we are a fearful people. There is not a single person in the whole world who isn't afraid of something, and it's not just the boogeyman. We're afraid of heights, we're afraid of depths, we're afraid of closed spaces, we're afraid of open spaces. We're afraid of cats, of dogs, of rats, of lizards, of cockroaches. We're afraid of failure, of accidents, of injury, of sickness, of sadness, of death. Some are even afraid of life. We are all afraid of something or the other. And then, of course, if by some extraordinary blessing we're not afraid of such things, there are the storms that keep hitting us, and they make us afraid too. The apostles seemed to be in one storm, almost permanently, and they were afraid, also permanently. It is a fearful thing being in a boat, even when there isn't a storm blowing. Can you imagine what happens when the storm blows? I was in a boat once, went on mission to the Caribbean, and although there wasn't a storm, the seas were rough, and the rocking of the boat made everybody on board physically ill. While everybody was standing by the sides, heaving their breakfast overboard, I saw a huge rock in the middle of the sea, and I realized that if I kept my eyes fixed on the rock, I didn't feel as nauseous, and for the next 20 minutes, I just kept my gaze on it until it disappeared from sight. By then, I was fine. Now, we can get through life's storms by keeping our eyes on a rock too, the rock of ages, and that is Jesus. And hear him say, "It is I. Do not be afraid."